Hello fly tyers, welcome to another episode of Aaron at the Fly Desk. Today we're going to tie one of my favorite flies in windy conditions, and I call it the burnt scud stud. The burnt stud scud. Sorry, that's a tongue twister. So what this fly imitates is your freshwater shrimp or scuds in most lakes. Eventually they'll die, and when they die they turn kind of a burnt orange color. And I've had times when I'm fishing in windy conditions and the big fish will actually come up right up against the shore and feed on some of these dead scuds that have been washed up by the waves right up against the shore. One of the biggest cutthroat trout I've caught in one of the local lakes was maybe 3 feet off the shoreline, and he was in there feeding on some of these dead scuds that had washed up into the shallows. So that's what we'll be tying today. I'm using a Danville thread in brown, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the hook with this thread so we have something that our materials can bite on. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get some of this. You can either use a dark brown. I actually like using this orange grizzly hackle. And what I do is I just grab me a little clump of it and I cut it off. And then this, it looks like the tail, but it's actually the front of the scud. You'll see as we tie it on. So I don't like those very long, but they're just kind of the feelers on the scud. Next thing we'll be doing is getting some of our Gamaris backs that we found on both Amazon and eBay. And you can see it's got 2 sides. One of the sides has 2 little black eyes, and that's what we'll be using on the back. We're just going to tie it on with this little tag, like so. And then on this one I like to use some Semisil dubbing in Canadian olive, and you can see it's kind of got a rusty brown color in it. So we're going to put some of that on as well. So we're just rolling that on. And then what I like to do is I like to build up and put a lot of dubbing right here at the start, and then kind of taper it down towards the eye of the hook. Fold it away so I've got plenty of room. Now what I do is I take my Home Depot wire brush. I brush both sides so we get some nice legs. And then what I do is I take this and I fold it over the top. Oops. And I actually pull it and stretch it right before I wrap. Cut off our tag end. You can actually leave that tag in if you want. Doesn't hurt a thing, but I like the hook visible so that I can tie on my tippet easy. I feel like I'm getting old and it's getting harder and harder to find the eye of the hook. Then we'll simply whip finish. Okay, then what I like to do is I like to pull my legs, and then I actually like to taper cut them So you can see my legs are shorter right here. They get longer and kind of blend in with the top part, or the front part of the Scud. Okay, so you can see it's looking really good. I like how that back looks. You can see how it tapers. And I've got my feelers right here. Good legs on both sides. Now what we will do is I will get some of my UV glue. And for this, I like to use thick. Get my light ready. And the reason why I like thick is I like to be able to adjust my taper before I cure this to where most of my glue is actually on the front, like so. Nice and cured. And you can see when I put that UV glue on, it really makes the Chimeras back pop. And you can even see the little eyes right there. I'll point out with my scissors. So I've got two eyes, I've got my ribbing through there. Nice dubbing. We'll trim it up just a little bit better. And so that's what she looks like. A very, very effective fly. Caught a lot of fish on Scuds. One of my favorite stillwater patterns out there. And so whenever I'm hitting a stillwater area, I will fish this just on a dead drift below the strike indicator, especially on a windy day. And I won't put a lot of movement into it. I'll let it just kind of drift in the wind freely. And when those big fish come in looking for those dead Scuds that are banging up against the rocks or just floating in the current, they absolutely gobble them up and love them. So thank you for watching this episode of Aaron at the Fly Desk, and I'm hoping to go out this week and maybe get some footage of some big tiger trout, rainbow trout, and cutthroat trout on some of our Scud and leech patterns. So be watching for those videos, probably coming out next week. And thank you for watching.